test done to measure her lung capacity. When she is resting, the volume vector V in her lungs after t seconds can be modeled by the following. Her volume is 2 times minus 0.4 cos pi over 2t, where the angle is in radians. The diagram shows the function of V t for the first 9 seconds. Happy days. Find the values marked A and B in the graph, the maximum and minimum values of V. Now, what I could do is I could go to my table function in my calculator, okay, and try risk this. So I go table function, I go 2, take away 0.4 cos pi over. Now I'm making a mistake. Can anybody tell me what my mistake is? Who said it? It's not in radians, is it? No. So start at 0, go up to like 9 seconds, step of 1, and we can see that my numbers, it's a bit all over the place. It's not moving at all. It should be going up, down, up, down, up, down, shouldn't it? Okay, guys. So we're going to try this again differently. Okay. So what we're going to try now is the following. We're going to try. I'm going to go to mode, setup, or whatever way you do it. I'm going to go to rad and try this again. And we can see it's going from 1.6 up to 2, up to 2.4, down to 2, down to 1.6, back up to 2, back up to 2.4, in between 1.6 and 2.4 all the time. Now let me see about this, okay, you ready? What is the maximum value of costs? Maximum value of cost is what? 0. It's worthless, nothing. So cos 90 degrees would be, what do you reckon? 0. Another way of saying that is cos pi over 2 is 0, and that happens when the t value is 1. And what happens is this thus becomes 0. Okay, and does that match up? Does a t value? Does that match up that t value? Let me see. When t is 1, the value is 2. 1, 2. Does 1, 2 match up? How does 1, 2 matches up? However, now let's think about maximum value of cos. What's the maximum value of cos? What's cos 0? Cos 0 is 1. And what happens when cos is 1? 2 take away 0.4. There you go. There's your minimum. 1.6. Can anybody tell me what's cos 180 in the calculator? In degrees. Minus 1. Minus 1. So that would make this whole thing a plus. 2 plus 0.4? 2.4. What I'm getting at, guys, is your calculator won't always give you the max and min. We were sort of lucky the table function gave us the max and the min. But if you remember correctly, it's your middle line. The 2 represents your middle line. Do you see that? So your middle line is 2. See that red line? And see the 0.4. What's the 0.4? 0.4 is your amplitude. That's how much higher and lower you go. Right? See the way it's a negative cos? A negative cos means you start at the bottom and work your way upwards. A positive cos would have us starting at the top and working our way down, completely out of sync. All right, you guys? Just a bit of revision on cosine waves there. So it's 1.6 and 2.4. And let's be honest, that was really easy for anybody who used the table function. They got full marks for that. Now, E, what's the connection between the first derivative, the derivative of V, and whether alga is breathing out? First derivative means what, guys? Slope. We want to get the slope of this equation here, okay? So 2 minus 0.4 cos, what's it, pi over 2 times t. Okay, let's differentiate that, and what do we get? Huh? Anybody? 2 goes, doesn't it? What's left over? Minus 0.4, yeah. What does cos change into? Minus sign. So another minus there, isn't it? The angle stays there, same. Differentiate the angle, pi over 2. So what's 0.4 times a half? 2/5 times a half, 1/5. So who got a pi over 5? If you ask me where I got pi over 5 from, alright guys, we're back. Now, I multiplied this one and this one to get 0.5 because it's 2/5 by a half, which is, and then the two minuses, the two yellow parts, they combine to make a plus. And now, all of a sudden, I have a bit of a sine wave here, okay? Now, the deal is the first derivative gives me the slope. So if the slope is positive, we're taking in air, which means we're inhaling. Would that make sense? And then when the slope is negative, what does that mean you're doing? Exhaling. We cool with that? Okay. Now, here we go. Okay, so I think next part is use the formula to find each of the following. When alga is resting, give the answer correct to 3 decimal places. Find the volume of airs in alga's lungs. Half a second after t equals 0. Okay, so do we just put in t equals 0 here? Oh, sorry. Half a second, so t equals 0.5. I can be lazy here because I already have the table function in place, don't I? Now you can enter all this into your calculator if you want. I like shortcuts, so I'm just going to do this. Step at 0.5. And there it is there. Who got a 1.717? Yeah. Okay, done. Find the rate at which the volume of air in alga's lungs is increasing half a second. Now, what are we expecting, a positive or a negative answer? Half a second in. Half a second in, I think we're on the way up, which means we're expecting a positive slope. So I'm going to grab my formula here. Does everybody see this? Pi over 5 sine pi over 2t? What I'm going to do is pi over 5 sine pi over 2. I'm going to put in the 0.5 and off we go. Ready for that? So what do we get here then, guys? Put that into the calculator for me and let me know what you get. Which means there should be a paste option. Okay. Now, what you get? Anybody? 0.44? 2 fours? 3 fours. And that is, you're on your way up. Centimeters cubed per, is it per minute or per second? Per second. So you're on your way up. Your lung is increasing. All right. Now, part 3. Is this the next part then? Olga's breathing is also measured while she is doing gentle exercise. During this time, she breathes in fully. The volume of her lungs is 3.6. When she breathes out fully, the volume of air in her lungs is 1.3. What's the gap between the two of them? Would you agree with 2.3? So the top of your peak to the bottom of the valley, that is 3.6 at your peak and 1.3 at your bottom. So what's in the middle? The midline? Midline is 2.3, is it? What's my amplitude? 2.3 is not the middle, lads. It's 2.45 is the middle. 2.45 is the middle. And what's your amplitude then? 1.15, okay? So She breathes in and out twice as many times per minute as when she's resting. What does that mean? The length of it is what? Is getting shorter, up, down, up, down. It's going up, down a lot faster. Does that make sense? So here's what we're going to do. Can anybody tell me what the A value is? A. 2.45. It's the midline. Can anybody tell me what B is? 1 point. The amplitude is what comes in front. So in the previous question, do you remember it was 0.4? So the amplitude was 0.4 up and 0.4 down, and the midline was 2. Oh, keep it as a minus because you'd imagine you breathe in first. There's no reason for it not to be minus. Okay. Sorry. Thanks for that. There's no reason for it not to be minus. The volume bearing lungs. Let's assume it's the same. That she starts the exercise breathing in. She starts breathing in, similar to the last one. So after she breathes out, the first thing she's going to do is breathe in. Okay. Now, we have to figure out what the C value is. Now, the old one was what? Would you agree the old one was pi over 2 times t? Yeah? Now, guess what happens when I do cos x versus cos 2x? What does cos 2x do? It goes twice as fast. So what do we do to this? Multiply it by 2 and I get cos pi t. And you're done. Is that all right? Is there anything else to that? This question?